Spirit.
Sorrow, I've seen trouble all my days. What's up, folks? Nightwatch N8, your number one super cool vlogger, podcaster, content creator extraordinaire, right, guys? Right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fall day in the Rocky Mountains. I know my audio is probably crap right now because I'm just using the phone. Just kind of a fly-by-night operation, fly-by-day. I guess I'm kind of landlocked right now. Drive-by-day operation going on right now. I just wanted to touch base. I mean, there's so much insanity going on in the world, right? We think it's like, people think it's World War III, Israel bombing Lebanon, all these biblical names, right? You notice that? It's almost as if the global elite that like to poke and prod the masses, which they see as cattle, right? The greatest motivator of any animal in the wild, or domestic, I guess, is fear, right? The greatest motivator. So they're always poking and prodding the cattle, the chattel, the sheeple, whatever you want to call us, masses, in this or that direction. Now, Jesus also talked about how there's wolves and there's sheep, right? And yeah, for the most part, most people are generally fairly good people, right? I mean, the Bible also says, you know, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. There are none that are righteous, right? And the only way that we're allowed into heaven is by covering all of our filthiness with the righteous, pristine, white robes of Christ, right? But yeah, for the most part, people, you know, they're just trying to get by. They're just trying to feed their families if they're worth their weight. They're just trying to get by, man. They're just trying to have a couple nice things, right? I don't know how house is out of the equation for most people anymore, but a fairly nice used vehicle. Well, I don't know what percentage of the demographic out there is actually in the income tax bracket where they can afford something like a Cybertruck, right? Well, that's the future of transportation. Yeah, for who exactly? For who? Elites, the ones that need bulletproof vehicles because of all the peasants they're trying to off with their heads, right? I guess that's Elon's target market nowadays. But yeah, no, I don't have a seatbelt on. I'm being risky today. I just kind of feel edgy. I don't know why. I just woke up, man. I just woke up. It feels like I just woke up today. It's almost 4 in the afternoon, and I just feel like I got out of bed. But I haven't. I've been up for at least 6 hours now. Yeah, so it's almost like the elite, the like I call them the high priests, satanic priest of statecraft, which is the science study of basically manipulating the masses in whichever direction you want to take them, and of course centralizing ever more and more control and more power unto yourself, right? As one of these shadow government elite types. Getting kind of tired of the deep state moniker, if that's a word. Yeah, the use of the word, a phrase deep state, because it's just so passe now. Like everybody uses it, and it almost kind of loses its meaning after a while. Now there is a shadow government, right? I mean, whatever happened to George Bush, W. Bush's, when he rammed through all that bull crap after 9/11 about this secret group of elites that are going to take over government just in case, the worst case scenario, and the president and his cabinet, vice presidents and the president get offed, and there's a secret unelected group, according to this BS legislation, that's supposed to take over the operation of the government, because God forbid we don't have a government, right, to rule over us and to tax us and to serfdom and spy on us and send our young boys and girls now, I guess, off to war. Yep, don't shut the government down, guys. God forbid we shut the government down once in our lifetimes. We can't live and breathe without the God of government, right, guys? Yeah, with this, where I was getting with all this satanic high priesthood of the masters of statecraft. It's almost as if, to me, at this point, I am my whole adult life anyway, a lifelong student of prophecy. Okay, I'm a Christian. I try to follow Christ. I try. Like I said, nobody's perfect. Nobody's righteous. But the highest standard ever known to mankind, which is Jesus Christ, Yeshua, the anointed one, the Savior of all mankind. And Jesus didn't have a political party. He didn't have a preferential after the Jews in combination with the Romans demanded Jesus' death. He threatened the power structure. He threatened, like I came up with this catchy phrase recently for a meme. Maybe I'll stick it together someday. Keep in mind, it was the church who crucified Christ. So if you're looking from the outside and you think all these Christians are a bunch of hypocrites and they don't practice what they preach, well, yeah, look at what they did to their own Messiah, right? It was the priesthood, the religious authorities at the day who were stoking the anger and the fear of the mobs, right? Which they got to demand to crucify him to Pontius Pilate. It was the religious leaders of the day that spearheaded the crucifixion of their own Messiah, basically, who threatened their power structure. I think that's key. Anytime you're a true threat, like I say, just to bring up Trump yet again, you got to bring up Trump at least once in a podcast, in a vlog, in a show. Can't go a day without thinking about Trump, right, guys? This is how all-consuming this one man's ego is, I guess, where we just can't get enough of the guy. Anytime you're a true threat, like I've said in the past, like if Donald Trump was a true threat, guys, to the deep state, to the shadow government, to the ruling elites, to all of these counterfeit spook agencies who really run things, like the CIA, the FBI, right, the NSA, all these different front agencies that work not for you or me, but for the ones who control our government. If Teflon Don was a true threat, he would have been Kennedy, guys. He would have been Kennedy, JFK. He'd be 6 feet under, and we wouldn't be still talking about the guy running for another 4 years of office. By all metrics, he's going to be your next president. And he's going to live a long, healthy life like they all do, right? And just ask yourself why, okay? Why is Trump still alive if he's such a great threat? And they're making it look really, really convincing right now, right? Like everybody's, I guess I heard of bounties out on Trump now. Was it a whole $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 bounty to get Trump? Whatever that's all about. I swear, I just read headlines lately, and it's just like anything to do. I mean, I can kind of read into the general premise of, usually based upon who's putting it out there, right? It's like one of these big talking influencers. I pretty much know where they're coming from. It's like everybody's trying to get Trump. Trump's a savior figure, a martyr, and he's a selfless martyr who set everything aside. He's better off financially and in general and popularity-wise and ego-wise than he's ever been in his lifetime. But somehow he made this huge sacrifice to feed his own ego and run as president of the United States. I really don't get the some of the messaging, some of the myth that people just kind of latch onto and don't question. But I mean, Trump's better off than he's ever been. Okay, maybe, although I really haven't seen much proof. Might have had a little tiny nick, like a little mosquito bite, I think is how he referred to it as when he got hit in the ear. He slapped his ear and he said, I felt like I just got stung by a bee or a mosquito or something. Because that's what a high velocity, supersonic 5.56 round feels like hitting your ear, I guess. In this Hollywood production that has become our political system. It's like I said, it's literally the entertainment industry. They've used that model now to convince us that our quote-unquote democracy is still functioning, all according to plan, right? And yes, you're outsider, messiah figure. Yes, all the evil forces in the universe are trying to kill this guy. But somehow, like John Wick, like Neo from the Matrix, he can stop bullets, right? Somehow, some way, by God's miracle from God, I guess. Or some people think it's Mother Mary, I guess. Trump is still alive with us today. he's going to lead us to the promised land, guys. That's right. Trump is going to lead us to the promised land. Despite the fact that he sucks up to Israel. And by all measures, it's going to make Israel a higher priority than our own living conditions here in America. And yes, you got to keep supplying Israel with all those massive bunker buster bombs, right, guys? Whatever the hell that was that they blew off over Lebanon. Some people speculating nuclear. I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty big bombs out there. It'd probably be pretty obvious, I would think, like downwind if they were actually using radioactive nuclear bombs at this point. But don't hold anything against these psychopaths. And like some people have asked, like T-Lab, Last American Vagabond, why is the world putting up with this, right? Why are we tolerating this level of... Why are we just tolerating an open war right now on innocent civilians in different countries that have nothing to do with what happened to poor little precious baby Israel? You know, when the CIA funded Hamas, attacked their very porous border, I guess, and they had that stand-down order apparently for at least a good hour or so it was before they actually responded to all the shooting and the civilian massacre going on. I mean, you think with all the drone technology, you know, like I could probably have a better border than Israel did that day, but you know, who am I? I just asked too many questions, right, guys? I'm just a guy who asks a lot of questions, and I get in trouble a lot of times for it because I don't know, sometimes I piss people off. Actually, should I park here? Bozzy's gonna be right in the sun. Bozzy McGee's gonna be right in the sun. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think I should probably park somewhere else, though, if I can find a place. Let me look around. This guy's kind of making noise over here, talking on the phone. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up. That was just a little update. There's a lot of insanity going on today, guys. I got a lot going on myself. I'm trying to do a sand and stain some lady's deck. We got our own deck we got to worry about. Trying to deal with insurance. Did I get to my point? I don't think. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. The evil ruling elite. You can tell I got a lot going on right now. The ruling elite, the high priest, the satanic priest of statecraft. And this dog's breath really stinks. It's almost like they're manipulating this age-old, multi-generational belief system, right? They will manipulate any belief they can to get what they want, right? To get what they want out of the sheep, to poke and prod us in what direction, whichever direction that they want to take us, in order to finally implement their satanic New World Order, which is the other thing that they're working on right now, of course, in New York City. With I guess it's not just the Pact for the Future with the UN, but I guess there's the Club of Rome. There's several groups right now meeting in New York. I thought that was kind of interesting. The Clinton Foundation, I think, was one of them. All these different globalist, birds of a feather flock together. I'm almost stuttering my words now. Birds of a feather flock together. If any time there was a good time, you would think if we had some real terroristic threats out there, right? If any time there'd be a good time to, not to put any ideas out there, but I don't know, drop a dirty bomb or something over New York City, you'd think that they would try to do it right now, right? But no, there's not really that much resistance in the world against these satanic elite, these monopolistic psychopaths. Unfortunately, right? But it will come down to, like it talks in the book of Revelation, the devil, the dragon, right? He's the one who gives them their power. These 10 kings who rule for 1 hour, one measly hour, prophetic hour, which translates into several weeks, a day for a year. Anyway, timeline stuff. Got to get into that in a future podcast. But for a very short time, these 10 kings, right? Call them the G10, will rule and wage war on the remnant. And how is the remnant described in the book of Revelation? Here are they who have the testimony of Jesus Christ and keep the commandments. Here are those who keep the commandments and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So those are the select group of people that Satan is really angry at. And if you're making Satan angry, you're probably doing something right? That's the way I look at it. Because Satan wants to destroy us all. Satan wants to take us all with him. He knows his time is short, and right now there's just so many things happening. I want to cover this UN Pact for the Future thing going on. Like I said, that doesn't. They can sit there all they want and make these declarations, right? About how they plan on stripping all of our liberties away the next time they manufacture another crisis. But that doesn't negate our God-given inborn liberties, okay? All men are created equal and endowed by certain inalienable rights by God. Inalienable rights. I don't care, what kind of title you have, what kind of organization you represent. We, the American people, are born to be free. Born to be wild, I guess, as the song goes, right, guys? And it comes down to, what you're willing to comply with. And if enough people comply, that's when shit goes south, I guess you could say. The example of the prototype, I guess, the shadow or type in Daniel of the image built by King Nebuchadnezzar. He instructed when the music played, all the surrounding villages, everybody was supposed to meet on the plain of Shinar, I think it was, right? And bow down before this golden image. Statement that Nebuchadnezzar tried to make, that his kingdom will last forever, despite the foreboding prophecy of Daniel, God's prophet, saying that he was just the head of this image and his kingdom would live for a short while until more powerful kingdoms followed. Like Greece, the Medo-Persians, the Romans finally, and divided Europe in the feet of miry clay. It's kind of interesting. I heard a sermon, another pastor talk about how everything in the image of Daniel, the feet are iron mixed with miry clay. And everything is constructed these days with iron rebar and miry clay or cement, right? This is kind of interesting. Anyway, I get off track. It's almost like these global elite are trying to manipulate this biblical, archetype of the end of the world, right? The Armageddon. And as I understand my revelation, my prophecy, most of Revelation is already fulfilled. There is going to be some insane things that unfold on the earth. But my question is, how much of it is just a psyop? How much of it is just to manipulate the minds of the masses? And sure, maybe cull some of the sheep now and then. We saw that over COVID, right? Good excuse to cut down on the population, overpopulated planet as they see it. These eugenicists and satanic elite worship the god of death. So yeah, I'm sure that they might. I mean, like right now in Gaza, right? Real people are dying, right? But where is it leading to? And what are they going to use this latest crisis that the UN right now is meeting in New York City to try to prepare for, to get everybody on the same page, right? These little dirty birds flock together, get all their little duckies in a row. Yeah, is it going to be this World War III PSYOP? Armageddon, Doomsday. And just think with that level of fear, how much of our liberties they could strip away, and how they could plunge this world back into another dark ages, technocratic dark ages this time, with uber technology, right, to enforce their much coveted New World Order. Anyway, just some thoughts. I gotta run into Safeway, get some water, and then I gotta start sanding on this lady's deck while it's still sunshine. God bless everybody. Once again, thanks for tuning in. This is Nightwatch N8. Just a short one today. Sorry about the audio once again. I'll get it working better next time. I got my little Osmo I'm gonna set up with an external shotgun mic. Somebody's yelling at somebody. Anyway, God bless everybody. Nightwatch N8. If you can, least you can do is like, comments on the videos. Supposedly that helps the algorithms. I'm applying a second time for monetization, and so crossed fingers, prayers even maybe. I mean, anything would help, right? For me to produce more shows financially, to give me the motivation, to give me the time to dedicate to it, where I'm not having to do other things like side jobs, right? For lawn care and deck staining and stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm just a regular guy, and I'm not one of these little pampered content creators, influencers that can just sit back all day and generate content, dedicate all my time to one thing, because I'm not there. I'm not monetized, never have been. And the only time I do get money is when you kind folks out there buy me a coffee or two, like my friend from Alaska just recently did. I'll just call him Amp. Yeah, thanks, man. You rock. We gotta hook up sometime again. Maybe I'll make it up to Alaska sometime. That'd be sweet. I'd have a place to stay, right? Show me all the local freak show. I hear a lot of rumors about people up there in Alaska. It's a strange place, man. If you just think about having to live in a place where certain times out of the year it's either pitch black or it's daylight all day long, and how it's got to screw up your circadian rhythm, and talk about making you bipolar, right? So yeah, they have a big drug issue up there and all that, like anywhere, but sin is prevalent, right, guys? But like I said, Jesus never had a political party. He never favored a nation, right? He did favor the Jewish people that were supposed to present to the Gentiles, the surrounding nations, present the good news of the gospel, but they failed because they put him to death, right? So after that, the gospel went out to all the nations. So, we should think on broader terms than left or right, black and white, right? The world is a very complex place, guys. And Jesus, his invitation for redemption, I guess, is an open invitation for everybody, everyone. But God bless. I'll leave you with that note. This is Nightwatch N8. Till next time. Signing out.